Hello again. This is segment number 12, episode 12. It's my favorite combinations of classic heavy Dynapowered wedges. And I'm going to start with the wedges that I actually have most recently carried in my bag, and there would be three of them. The first one is this lovely 1965 Dynapower, very heavy E6 swing weight, and it was so much fun the other day to hit this. A lot of bounce. I think it probably, along with the 71, 72, has more bounce than any other of the Dynapowered wedges. So great for the muddy conditions. We played in the rain yesterday, and it was, worked wonderfully from the fairway in that muddy situation. I also had in the bag the low bounce version, and I never needed to use that, but that's a heavy club, about the same swing weight as the other. This is the double stripe version, I call it, from 1966, and it's just a great club, great companion for that high bounce 1965. So that's a 65 and a 66 going together. I mentioned that I love the triple duty wedge, and the one I happen to carry is not a Dynapower. It's made between, I can't place the exact year because they made these over a number of years. It's the 3D triple duty Wilson, beautiful paint on it. You can see the grind on the sole is what we've seen elsewhere on the Dynapowered I showed you, but I like the, I think it's got an EO swing weight, and it just has always felt really great to me for these shots from the fairway from about 40 yards out. I'm able to calibrate the distance so well with that to put the ball up within 4 feet, maybe 5 feet of the cup, and then with any luck I'll sink the putt and get down on 2 from there. The other thing that I've been carrying in my bag is a 9-iron. I mentioned that I like 9-irons for chipping, and these are, one is more beat up than the other. I had been carrying, but the weather has gotten bad. I had been carrying this original, look at the beautiful grip. That's an original leather grip from 1959. This is a 59, which is similar to the 58 in terms of iron sets, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful club. But because it has leather, and because I don't trust it completely in the rain, I worry that it gets slippery, I worry that I'm going to lose control, I'm going to be substituting this, which is a 58. It's got the, I talked a little bit, but I don't think I've shown you yet, the red arrow on the hosel. That's how you tell a 58 from a 59 in the iron sets. See that arrow up by the black dot? So this is a 58, same as 59, more beat up, not in pristine condition, and it's got a great Titleist, Golf Pride Tour grip. Very, very grippy. It'll serve me extremely well during the bad weather that we're going to be seeing out here for the next 4 or 5 months, whatever. So that's one combination. That's actually the combination I've been using in my bag lately. But here's another great combination that it's an example, and these are just examples of the combinations, but you've got the high bounce 1973 through 75. I talked about those, and it's a club that look at that bounce. I mean, that is a lot of bounce. It hits the ball very far. I've seen sometimes when they're for sale, they say that they're 51. So I kind of wondered. I don't have the catalog for this, so I can't see whether whether in that year they deviated from the 55 degrees that had been standard for about 20 years. But that's a beautiful performing club. It really performs so well. I like it a lot. That's the high bounce part of the equation. Here's the low bounce part of the equation. This is the first Dynapowered sand wedge I ever bought. The one that I had searched and searched for 30 years to find. This is it. And it's got, look at that, it's got very little bounce. Maybe 6 degrees, maybe not even that, I don't know. But that's a compact blade, and it is a wonderful companion to the high bounce. That's a 6970, and then the high bounce one I showed you is a 73 through 75. That's a good combination. Here, I'll just show you a third, but they're endless combinations depending on how many clubs you own. I think the 64 sand wedge is particularly good. It's high bounce. You can see the sole isn't terribly wide, but it's a high bounce sole, and it's really a nice club. It's got a long, or I should say a wide face. If you've got a problem with shanking, a wide face is better because you can line the ball up further away from the hosel. And sometimes I've been known to shank. Here is this is re-chromed and re-grooved. Very nice work done by, I think, probably the Iron Factory in Colorado. But re-chromed, re-grooved, re-shafted. It's got a dynamic gold shaft on it, which is the modern shaft. And this one that I've done all that work on is relatively low bounce. It has, you can see there's not much bounce there. There might be 5-6 degrees, maybe not even that. So you got a nice combination here. They're about the same swing weight. I think one's an E3, the other's an E4 or an E5. About the same swing weight. And they're the same length too. I mean, that's another thing you look at when you pair for your bag. You want them to be maybe roughly same swing weight. You want them maybe to be roughly the same length. But the one difference you do want is in the bounce, so that you're able to handle whatever situation comes along. I want to quickly run through the design features that I consider. By now you've picked up that I am very attentive to loft, bounce, swing weight, length, and flex of shaft and condition of the grooves. Often the shaft band is missing, but the seller knows the flex. Also, Wilson in some years would put a thin band, red or black, separate from the shaft band. Red meant stiff, black meant regular. So you can tell that way, because usually there are remnants of that very thin black band that goes around the shaft as well. And at the risk of setting out too much detail, these are just questions I ask, and I won't explain why they're relevant. Maybe in my guidebook if I do one, depending on the kind of reaction I get to these videos. I ask whether the leading edge is straight or is it curved. I look at the shape of the toe and the shape of the overall club face. Is it a rounded or squared off toe? Is the club narrow or long? And again, long would reduce the chance of hitting a shank. Is the toe high? I kind of like a high toe. I've got a high-toed. We have seen that the companies are marketing high-toed wedges right now. I think Phil Mickelson maybe has made them popular, and I haven't tried the new ones, but I've got a high toe 1961 Walter Hagen, which I really like. I didn't show it to you, but a high toe sand wedge. Nothing is new under the sun. I mean, you maybe have the impression that you know, the last 20 years have been remarkably creative and productive, but Wilson was remarkably creative and productive as well back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even before. I look at, is there offset? I usually like a little offset. What is the condition of the chrome? Where's the weight on the back pad? Is it low? If it's low, it's going to send the ball higher. Is it middle? That'll give you a kind of mid-high ball flight. Or if the weight is high, it's going to give you a lower ball flight. So, so that's all I would have, you know, about my favorite combinations of classic wedges, and really the things I look at in terms of features, design features, when I am shopping around. The next segment, the 12th of 14, or I'm sorry, 13th of 14, will address how to buy used clubs off eBay. And I'll give you a quick discussion of how to spruce them up for play. Thanks again. Tune in soon.